Welcome back, everybody. Going into the conclusion of today's episode of RollPlay Nebula Birthday. It's a party. And Quinn, you can cry if you want to. Aurora, though, let's see if we have reason to cry. You got a roll to make, my dear robot girl. It's a difficulty 6. You're rolling it with clever, I think, because that was pretty. I feel like it's pretty clever.
Or at least she thinks she's being clever.
Yeah, rolling it with clever. You gotta get a 6. You got +3 to your clever, so good luck. Okay,
So,
that's all right.
Wait.
You got a 4. So what is it? Here's the thing. So you can see it starting to work. You can see maybe you're almost there. The whole hologram birthday party with the ugly cake and everything. You're almost there. What are you going to spend your point on? What aspect do you invoke?
My aspect called family ties. Because she considers Quinn family. And she's trying her best to treat him how she knows family should be treated, which is her version of like 80s birthdays.
Yeah. The TV. Exactly. The TV has taught you how to make people feel appreciated, and it's with big showy birthday parties.
Yeah. With like
Awesome.
over the top slideshows, apparently. With Morgan Freeman talking.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. So Eugene, let's see. Meanwhile, you are brought before the Empress, and I think that we see you being passed, from one hand to the other, and one of the lizard men passes up to the Empress's like major domo, this jar full of you, and he says, "Glorious Empress, a traitor in their midst," and he like holds the jar full of gloop up, and your little face is up against the side, all smeared out, and she looks down, like hisses at you. What do you say to the Empress?
I was trying to find something to smush up against.
I was
my
say,
face.
you just get some saran wrap and just fucking smush it in your face. Yeah.
That's why
So the major domo is like, "Excuse me, Empress," and like opens it just enough that you can like squeeze your little lips out.
just like put a little lips out. I'm like, well, hello, Empress. You're looking quite large and fetching.
She looks at the jar, and she's like, "Give me a reason not to have you disposed of, slime. What can you tell me to help us win this battle?"
Well, I can tell you that it turns out he hasn't even been able to complete one of the trials. So you've got plenty of time.
When you say that, when you're like, he hasn't even completed one of the trials, there's a strange look that passes over her face. Now, you're not really familiar with like lizard lady face, like I guess snake lady face.
It looks the same to me.
Yeah, she has an emotion, but you can't quite pick out what it is necessarily.
It's obvious to me that they're doomed to fail as he's, not completing these trials that these crazy kooks here seem to think are so important. And I know who I want to align myself with, right?
And she scowls and she says, "And what use do I have for you?"
Whatever use you can think of, my Empress.
Yikes. I
mean, let's recall again that at this point I look like one of those, as I've described in the past, one of those weird unicorn frappuccinos from Starbucks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like a weird combination of green and pink. I don't smell very good. I'm kind of alarming to the senses of everyone around me currently.
Okay. What do you want the Empress to do here? I guess, what do you want to do with your action?
I'm trying to stall. That's literally all that I'm trying to do. I want to be intriguing enough, like that, or I just want to stall. I just want to.
You want to distract the Empress from command. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sure. Go ahead and make a roll. You can roll sneaky or clever. I mean you're lying, so yeah, I think it's sneaky. Difficulty to distract her. Let's say 3. 3's nice. Difficult average.
Adam, I love the way you go. What are you trying to do?
Yeah, what exactly is happening?
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. What are you trying to do? You do that all the time. What are you trying to do?
Yeah, it's my go-to for this game. Okay, so you've failed, Eugene. Do you want to just fail, or you want to create an aspect and let me have a free shot, or do you want to spend your fate point?
I wanna. If I use my fate point, do I create the aspect?
Yes. Yeah. You always create the aspect. Yeah.
Okay. I wanna use mine on the grounds that I am the future richest slime in the galaxy. Keyword being slime. They all think that I'm really bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like I'm not something that they really know how to interact with. I'm something that they don't ever see very often. So they're approaching how they deal with me sort of cautiously, because they don't even really know if they wanted to dispose of me. They don't even really know how they would do that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you'd end up in a jar on a shelf forever until you starve to death, if that's even possible for you.
Right.
Okay, so let's say confusion in the ranks, maybe. Do you have a specific thing you want to call this? Because the idea here isn't that you're going to be using it. You want to give like the next person, someone else, a chance, right?
Right.
So what do you want to call it?
I want to call it shoot, I'm sure there's something really clever here. I'm not quite stumbling on it.
Right, what's the aspect?
We don't know. That's what we're trying to figure out. It basically represents that they don't know what to do. That Eugene has introduced a monkey wrench into the works, right? That there's some new aspect that the queen is like, what? Wait, hold. Now we have to deal with this slime thing before we can, like, it's to distract them, and it ripples out through the chain of command.
Gum up the works.
Genie in a bottle.
Goo up the works.
Staying alive. Don't stop
Goo
being
up the works.
Goo up the works. I like that. Gum up the works.
Gum up the
I like
works.
that one. Right.
I
That's
like
good.
all the ideas.
Okay. All right. So you've got this aspect that the works are temporarily gummed.
Genie in a bottle. God, that's a good one too.
Rex. I would have called it Eugenie in a bottle. Yeah.
Eugenie in a bottle.
Oh, that's so much better.
can we
That's
rename
so
it?
much better.
Okay, calling it that. All right.
Eugenie in a bottle.
Now I'm gonna have Christina Aguilera stuck in my head all night.
Gotta rub him the right way.
Yeah. All right, Eugenie in a bottle.
Yep.
Okay, Rex. What are you gonna do?
Rex just comes out and he kind of sees the battlefield unfolding, and he just breaks into a sprint for the front lines. Quinn got his blood pumping when they had a little rough and tumble, and I'm just gonna start attacking soldiers indiscriminately.
All right, so you go out into the village, and you can see, the battle is still a pitched battle despite the birthday party you've just left, and there is still, a chance that they'll be able to push past the village. So you want to go in there and attack them, try to drive them back?
Yeah.
All right, go for it. Okay, so you got a 6, and I got a 6 as well. So, I mean, I think it's a tie, which it'll give you a boost, but it won't give you any damage, I believe is how that goes. Let me double check, because we don't tie on.
Unless I use Eugenie in a bottle.
Which, yes, you could do. Yeah. Yeah, attack doesn't harm the target, but you gain a boost.
Let's gain a boost, because then we can use it to defend, because it's more important to defend than attack.
Yeah, and for folks who are asking if you're still wet, you're not, because you rolled around on the floor. You've been The blood is dried up.
That was a long time ago, chat.
It was a scene ago. Yeah. Okay, so you want to use that Eugenie in a bottle?
No, I want to just create a scene.
Okay, so what do you want your boost to be called? This is you. You're like the only person still fighting. You're back where you started, right? Everybody else is doing other things. You're still fighting. What is your boost called?
Carry on, wayward son.
Right, you're the only one. You're left here to carry on. All right. Okay. So
Someone said Sharknado.
so you're out there fighting by yourself with your little like dudes. They're fighting with you, but like they're falling back and they're losing the nerve. But you know you return from the temple and it gives them a little boost. So let's see if they can withhold. You're gonna have to defend as well, Rex. So here comes. This time. Oh, there you go. This time I got a 0. I'm gonna go ahead and re-roll.
Okay.
Because there's no point even trying to get you to roll against that 0, and I've got a point left.
Ooh,
good. I got a
yo!
1. Nice. Go ahead and defend. What are you doing, Rex? You've come out here. There's everybody fighting.
This is when Rex's soundtrack starts playing, and he's in full beat up the bad guys mode, and he's just like the furthest down the stairs, and he's just all out brawling with these guys, in this flashy heroic solo daring hero fashion. Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and roll. Okay. All right. That's fine. You beat me. It's not a very good attack anyway. So you're holding the temple village. I think that we can see, we see lizards, like, and this is where like it's not just the fighters that are left, but the elderly and children that live in this village have had to come to fight. So they're throwing rocks down from their little balconies, and they're all trying to support you as you stand to fight. So Quinn, on your turn, give me a happiness reaction. Show me happiness, Quinn, and then I will tell you of the last trial.
So Quinn sees all this incredibly ridiculous stuff that Aurora has done for him, and he just, rather than look at all of it, he stares at her and thinks back to what her father said about how she's incredibly special, and he realizes that, and he realizes that about not only her but like all of his friends, and how they're doing all this insane shit for him in order to help him on this crazy trial. And he said he would kept this secret of who she is and how she is really the last, or not last, but maybe the last human. And he's like blown away that her, like, one of her many talents is to be so human and so giving. And so he's like really blown away by all this that she's done for him. And he isn't concerned with all the stuff she did. It's the fact that she did it. And that's what makes him happy.
Nice. Excellent. So you feel that happiness well up within you, and the temple fills with the scent of lizard happiness as everyone shares in your happy feelings.
What does it smell like?
What does it smell like? Yeah.
Like barbecue.
Nice.
Like barbecue. It smells like wood chips and like delicious
mesquite.
meats. Yeah, mesquite.
The mesquite stink of lizard man
perfect.
Happiness.
Just fucking sweet brisket.
Yeah, man. It
I love
smells
the idea. I love the idea of
delicious.
like a lizard man going into a barbecue joint and be like, "What's everyone so fucking happy about?"
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
And as he's like admiring like Aurora or me, that I'm like in the middle of like telling Crocsep how to make ours because it's backwards.
Yeah.
And I'm showing him like what he did wrong on the cake.
Yeah, and Crocsep just has 2 handfuls of cake, and he's just like, "Cake," and like jamming it in his mouth happily. So Quinn, we pan over to everybody with their little party hats on and stuff, and we see Slarp. We see old Slarp, and he's walking over, and he's holding a bundle in his arms. He's got some cloth bundled up, and he comes up to you, this little comical like cone hat, little stars on it. And he walks over, and he says to you, he's like, says, "You're doing so well, my boy," and like taps you with the cane, kind of like lovingly, and he's like, "You're so close. I can smell your emotions. It's overwhelming." what good is a party without a surprise? And he pulls the cloak away from what he's holding, and he's got this glass jar. It's yay big. And inside it, and the jar has no lid. It's just like a single like glass jar shaped enclosure. It's like crafted around whatever's inside. And inside at the bottom, there's a little bit of hay or like material like that, like grass. And sitting in it, there's an egg. There's like a lizard egg. And he says to you, he says, I was there, when you were disgraced and sent away. And I've been working all these long years, waiting for your return. I stole this. And he holds it up to show you from the hatchery before they destroyed all the eggs. You see, my boy, you're not the last. The lineage of the Guardians, and like holds it up. It's in your hands now. And he like reaches out to you. And do you take it from him? Do you take the like jar with the egg in it?
Yeah, but he's like speechless. He does.
Yeah.
So he grabs it because it's like the thing to do, but not because he's like, oh yes,
exactly.
Of course I will take this. He's
And
like,
so And so he says to you, he says, and this is like to you, but like it's one of those things where he's explaining it to a character that already knows this shit, but it's for the audience's purposes. And he says to you, he says, in our culture, only women may carry the young, raise them. It requires a certain emotional strength that the men of our people simply do not have. Until now, Quinn. Until now. And he puts his arm on your shoulder, and he says to you, he says, take this egg with you, Quinn. Raise it. Raise the tiny creature within. Be the mother that it deserves.
Oh no.
and he says, all you have to do is break the jar, Quinn. And you look down at it, and you can see it. It's like moving a little, like the egg inside the jar. But the baby will suffocate if you leave the glass intact. All you have to do, Quinn, is break the jar. Set it free.
Quinn is like terrified because he doesn't know what to do. There's this little tiny precious egg, and at the same time there is this jar that like is also protecting the egg, and he doesn't like want to break the egg and the jar. He doesn't like, he's so frightened. He doesn't know what to do. And he looks around at everyone around him and is sort of like, what do I do with this?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do. You want me to be a mother? What I don't understand. Like, he's totally confused. One might say very surprised. And he's just like, what? And he and he sort of looks to everyone else for advice, for suggestions.
Yeah, okay. So there is no roll here. You don't have to roll to be surprised. I think that you are. This is a choice that Quinn has to make, whether to embrace his emotions. And yeah, you look around, and this is where, again, like the beginning of the episode, we get a shot of each of your friends and their like reaction and their support for you. So obviously, Aurora, you're the closest. So we see Aurora. And Aurora, what do we see when we see you? When Quinn looks to you, and we as an audience look to you for your support of him.
I of course am just like, and then you hear Sparky play an audience track. Oh,
right.
The 80s.
Sparky's Bumblebee now.
Yeah.
And Crocstep is standing behind you with his like cake smeared claws, just like kind of like holding them out like.
And you see like one of his hands just patting,
Baby.
and he just looks so happy.
We cut over to Rex. Now Rex, you're in the middle of the fight, so this is us seeing you and how you like are here to support Quinn. So what do we see?
We see like there's guards falling back on the staircase. There's like an injured guy, and like two other soldiers are pulling him, and I'm like, Rex is yelling to get him back, and Rex is like, the stairs are like maybe like 10 feet wide, right? And Rex is just there on his own, holding off like
punching.
Like if you'd pan the camera out, it would be like a queue of like 60 or 70 soldiers.
Well, yeah, and they're all climbing over the bodies of the ones you've already killed. So there's like a big pile of
and
like
he's like
dead
flinging them
lizardmen
off
warriors.
the side, and they're like screaming and falling, and and all this kind of stuff. And that's just like Rex doesn't really know any other way. This is just Rex's contribution. It's pretty blunt, but that's what it is.
And we fade over to Eugene. Eugene, what's the scene? Where are you?
I want to say that at this point, the Empress is kind of just like, I don't want to deal with you right now.
Yeah, take it away.
Right, yeah. So they've put me. They have like big almost wheelbarrows that have supplies in them, right? Whether it's ammunition or like food, like whatever they might need while they're doing this battle. So they've sort of just plopped me on one of those that's right behind where the Empress is, and you can see that I'm trying to. It's like one of it. They didn't think this through very well. It's one of those jars that's just kind of like suctioned down with almost like cork. So I'm just like trying to push my way out while staring at the Empress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we just see you looking up and like in your own way, being a disgusting coward is how you support Quinn, because you do the things that he has too much dignity to do.
Right. Look, that's what I'm here for.
That's true.
I like it. Okay. So we get this shot, the music is playing.
I got this. I got the perfect music.
Yeah. And then we cut back to Quinn. Go ahead, Jesse. Take it away.
So Quinn is like, what do I do? And then cut to all the things that you just said that happen. But in the background, the music is like bong, bong, and it's this like weird chime. And then as Eugene is trying to like mess around with this lid, the Queen looks up and stares at something. And all of a sudden you hear like bam, 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 bam. And then in the distance, coming out on a platform as Michael Jackson's Beat It starts to play, you see Quinn standing over like the battlefield down below and the fighting behind him, and his hand is inside the jar holding the egg, and he holds it out over the cliff, and he lets the jar slide off of his hand as he pulls the egg out of it. And it like falls in the distance down onto the ground below.
The light catches it and makes it glare.
Right, just as Michael Jackson starts to sing, and it like shatters into the ground below, and it's like, you done fucked up now. It's on. Like, here we go.
And so you're holding the egg, and we cut back to you looking at it, and the surface of the egg, is cracking, and this like exactly like a little animatronic baby lizard man, just like the Velociraptor in Jurassic Park, pushes his little face out, and it's obviously like, just like a little Quinn. We see his little claws like pulling aside the egg bits, then he like looks up at you, and that's when I think we see this from Eugene's perspective, because there's still this huge army arrayed, right? But we cut back to Eugene. And something starts to happen. First, it's one of the lizard men that's like holding the jar that you're in. We see his face suddenly like contort, and he drops the jar that you're in. And it like lands on the ground, like rolls to the side, and he falls. And he makes a noise that initially maybe we think is pain or something, like because he grabs his head and he's like on the ground, and then we realize he's laughing. And we pan across, and this is happening to all the lizard men in the army. They're like falling and dropping their weapons. Some of them are crying.
Michael Jackson's Beat It. Michael Jackson's Beat It.
Yeah, to beat it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Some of them are crying. Some of them are laughing. We see two of them like holding each other, sobbing, and they're all like experiencing these intense, powerful emotions. And because there are fewer of the Empress and her like high cadre of women folk, they're like whipping these men, being like, no, get back to work. Where are your jars? And the men all start like breaking the jars and like losing themselves in this like orgy of emotions. And we can, for the first time, there's so much pheromone in the air that we can see it. We like cut back to the army, and this like rainbow cloud of feelings like rises up from the army, and we see it sparkling in the fading light of the day. And yeah, the army just falls to this like orgy of feelings as the Empress takes her vipers and attempts to like flee. Rex, the warriors, the men that you were fighting, they immediately are overwhelmed with fear of you, fear of the battle. They throw their weapons aside and retreat, overwhelmed by their emotions. A cheer goes up from the victorious lizard men at your side. Two of them like grab you by the shoulders, like slap you on the back. And up above on the kind of pedestal holding this tiny little like baby lizard man, Quinn, you look out through the haze, the emotional haze, and you can see that victory is at hand.
Right. I swear to God, Quinn, if you don't do it right now, I'm gonna be so pissed.
I think like
If you don't do it.
So the baby,
the
little baby in your arms, I'll set up for you. The little baby in your arms looks up at you quizzically, like, "Who are you? who is this creature?"
Goddamn you guys.
The music fades into the background.
I mean, I
know we're railroading you into this moment, but Quinn, come on, man.
So Quinn looks out over everyone and looks down at this new little baby and says, "I am Quinn Talag, the last guardian." And then he looks down at this little baby and he's like, "No longer." And then he holds this like little tiny lizard baby up to everyone. And because I'm a sucker for chat, goes, "I will name you Quimba." And holds him out to all of the lizards. And
Rex,
all the lizards.
Rex and all the other soldiers down below, they start like cheering.
Yeah, everybody. So we see the sparkling rainbow cloud of emotion turn the color of lizard pride as they all as one begin to cheer in pride and happiness over the rise of their new Blixnortly Belacta, he who controls the feeling, the unjarred one. And we can hear the sounds of glass jars breaking in ritual as they free themselves from the tyrannical prison in which they have found their emotions so many generations. Nice work. So we fade out on that inspiring scene. And I guess fade back up on the sort of post the post battle. So where are the group of you? What is that scene? This is when we get the kind of like you've won the day. The Empress has fled. And we cut back in on a much like quieter scene where all of you are like at rest post battle. What do we see? Everybody, give me some details of this scene.
I want to say that it takes a while before somebody goes, "Wait, where the fuck is Eugene?" And Rex, still covered in like, the kind of like dried spoils of war, just hears a little zzz in his ear. And when he looks on his shoulder, there's just a tiny little Eugene blob. And then it like immediately cuts to the jar that's still holding Eugene that he's almost got the lid off of, just sitting in the middle of sand. It's just like
the little
they
Zed
just ditched me. Yeah.
the little Zed just pushed you all the way back. Aw. Yeah. So there's this big jar. There's a jar full of Eugene sitting in front of you.
we're having a beach party. Duh. Croczep is barbecuing again because it makes people happy.
Yeah. Totally.
He's got his cape on that says "Kiss the Cook," and he's got
Yeah.
cake all over his face still.
He's learning the lesson that it's okay to not have to be a giant hulking warrior to have worth in society, that he can be nurturing and feed his fellow lizard people and still be worth as much. I like that. Yeah. He's making little Crocs burgers for everybody. He's very proud of himself.
Yeah, and I'm DJing, of course. I'm up there doing the wub, not to make people deaf. So,
Right, like 80s party jams just emerging happily from your dog who is also a boombox.
yeah.
Like it. Okay. Cool. Rex, where are you? Where do we see Rex?
Rex is like sat down. He's like leaning against the wall, and Quinn's sister is like tending to open wounds on him, and she's like, "Rex, you're so reckless," and he just kind of like throws a hand back because she's like working on his shoulder, and he grins and he's like, "You know it." And that's the scene.
I like how sometimes Rex is Indiana Jones and other times he's like Bender from Futurama. Like, yeah, you know it, baby.
So yeah, you know it.
Yeah. So she just shakes her head and she's like, "Oh, you," and like goes back to tending to your wounds. So Quinn, where are you after all of this? Do you take a moment for yourself? What happens? Where do we see Quinn?
The little Quimba and all the like elders and all the people are just like they're all playing with him, and it's been a while since they've seen a baby of my lineage, and so they're all like obsessed with it. And Quinn himself is just off on some stairs somewhere, just sitting there, like wondering what next, because this may be a victory, but it's not over. The planet's still a mess. Really, he's Croxup was kind of right. Like, they're still totally effed. And the planet's like a lot of people died, and there's really no hope right now for the planet. But maybe this child can help them in some way. But really, what do you do? So he's like totally conflicted.
Yeah. So I think that you're in the temple. You're kind of aside from everybody else, and and Slarp approaches you. And I think he walks up behind you and he kind of nods as you're looking out over the vista, and he kind of looks up at you and he says, "You did well today, boy. I didn't think you were coming back, but you did. You did good. How does it feel?" He like elbows you a little.
And Quinn looks at him and then down at the dirt, and he's like, "It doesn't feel like victory."
He nods. He says, "That's the thing about getting what you want. Sometimes it isn't quite the way you expect." And he looks over and like Aurora, maybe he sees you with the baby, or like you and like you're holding it or like something. And he says, "As much as we'd love you to stay, old Blixnort, I think you've got."
Fuck out.
He's like, "I think maybe you've got a mission elsewhere." And he like looks pointedly at your pants.
Do I still have the scepter in there?
Yes,
Is
that's-
even though he's
it
blind,
still in there
by
the
the way.
entire time?
He's just blind, but so fucking wise.
Oh yeah.
He gets it. He gets
He's
it.
movie blind, right? Like
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
movie blind.
yeah.
He
and looks down at your pants.
And Quinn looks at him and smiles and is like, "You're right, but I can't leave. The Empress is still out there. What do we do about here?"
He says, "Well, if I know that old snake, and I do, well, she'll go running for friends. There's a ship or two left in the harbor at the capital. Almost certain she'll leave the planet, which is good news for us. Old snake, nobody wants her around anyway." But we haven't seen the last of her. He shakes his head, which is why I think we need you up there. And he like points at the now darkening sky. We can see the stars kind of starting to emerge.
Quinn puts his hand on his shoulder and is like, "You always were the wisest of us."
And he nods and he says, "Fat lot of good it did me. Now right up till today, anyhow. I've lived a long life. Think it might be time for old Slarp to wander out into the desert. Say goodnight on this whole situation."
And Quinn looks at him and he goes, "Don't you dare. You're not done yet, old man." And he points to everyone else and he's like, "They need a leader. And you're the best that I can see."
So he looks, and we get the long kind of like people standing outside the celebration moment, right? This is the like everybody's doing the yub nub dance, and we're like kind of somberly looking on. And he says, "Well, if the Blixnort says so, suppose who am I to argue? I'm just a blind old lizard." And he says, "So, what'll you and your friends do next?"
And Quinn looks down at him and looks over his friends and then looks at the scepter and he says to camera, Save the goddamn galaxy.
Yeah, right. And that'd be the hard break to like credits there. Yeah. Cool. So let's, we're pretty much done with the like in character content of the episode, but we do have a milestone to work out. So let's take the rest of the time we've got to figure that. So
there's a post-credit scene where Rex is boning Quinn's sister.
Oh, she's got a mate. Don't do that.
Yeah,
Don't be like that.
Listen. The new way of doing things in this society is much more open than it was
Things
before.
have changed.
Things have changed.
Wait,
around
why
here.
would the post-credit scene be a sex scene? That's just a terrible
No, it's
idea.
like it's like Eugene looking for Rex, and then like Rex like comes out of one of the store closets, and then she's like all flushed, and she like runs off.
Oh, Rexy, you're
Wait, she's all.
Yeah.
Listen, we all know that Rex has a bare grasp on anatomy to begin with.
Yeah.
So this is the end of a major storyline, which is it'll allow people to make changes to their character in like a pretty fundamental way. So let me review for you, and we can talk about what you might want to change. I think Quinn, obviously you've got a big one here that you can change. But so a major milestone is when something in the campaign shakes it up, the end of a big story arc or large scale change reverberates throughout the world. These milestones are about gaining more power. The challenges of yesterday simply aren't sufficient to threaten these characters anymore, and the threats of tomorrow will need them to be more adept, organized, and determined to stand against them. Achieving a major milestone confers the benefits of a significant milestone and a minor milestone. In addition, you can do all of the following. So I'll go through all of these things one at a time, and we'll talk about them. So everybody gets an additional point of refresh, which means if you do nothing else, every game starts at 4 fate points instead of 3.
Sick.
You'll go up to 3. Right? Or you can immediately spend to purchase a stunt. So you could stay at 3, buy yourself a new stunt for free.
Okay.
You can, if you want to, rewrite your character's high concept. So Last Guardian of the 12 Serpentis, you can rewrite it into something new.
Yo, done.
Big deal for that. Anyone can do that. You also can raise one of your approaches by 1. Raise the bonus of any approach by 1. You can also switch any of your 2 approaches or rename another aspect that isn't the high concept. Swap out one of your stunts or choose a new stunt if you don't already have 3. So lots of stuff that you can do. There would also be healing if you had taken any personal wounds. But yeah. So there you go. Lots of stuff to do. Jesse, do you know what you might want to make your new high concept? Or do you want to...
Yeah, I want to get rid of Last Guardian and make it something Blixnort related. I don't know exactly what it would be, but I know that's what I want to do.
Someone in chat suggested Legal Guardian of the Last Guardian of the 12th.
Perfect. That's perfect.
Parent or guardian of. You can sign
Guardian
the
of the last
Legal Guardian. That's so funny.
Legal Guardian of the Last Guardian. Nice. That's good. Yeah. So like exactly, you could go depending on how you want to play Quinn from here forward. You could go with like Blixnort Libalacta, the unjarred one, chosen of the people of Slyn. Or you could go with Mama Blixnort or whatever. A way to represent not only the progress the character has made so far, but what you hope to do in the next, in the coming episodes, because this will be a thing that we will, like every other aspect, invoke and compel as we move forward. Sure. Does anybody else want to make changes to their core, their hh concept?
I think I will.
Yeah.
I think instead of happy-go-lucky mechanic, I want to put techno sorcerer. I want that to be more of a primary role now, instead of just being the happy-go-lucky mechanic. I think she's developed way beyond just being a mechanic now.
Yeah, so because you can change 2, you'll be able to change your Alaxatronian wild techno sorcerer. Number 1, your prime concept could be burgeoning techno sorcerer, or something about how you want to learn. You're an apprentice techno sorcerer, and you want to learn how to control that power. Yeah, totally. I like it. And then you'll also get to rewrite the one that you're changing out. So Alaxatronian Wild Techno Sorcerer can become something else. So you'll have 2 new ones.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know what the new one would be yet, but yeah. I definitely want to make that more of a focus, because I want that to be more of a focus in her play. Yeah.
And then again, as it becomes that way, it'll become more important in the game. So that's cool. That's good. Rex, are you so good with yours as your
Yeah,
main
I
one?
don't think anything's changed about Rex that would require.
No,
any
you're certainly not your core one. Eugene
he's
and
a little same on Rex.
Eugene and Rex, do either of you want to change any of your other ones? Do you want to like rewrite or
How
or
many
change?
aspects can we have aside from our primary?
I believe that you can have 5 total.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can either rewrite an existing one, or if you still have some left, you can write in some new ones. Your character sheet is full when you have 5 aspects and 3 stunts. So if there's still space, now it's a great time to do that.
I'm kind of wanting to add something along the lines of like begrudgingly needy, like something that implies that like he doesn't want to admit it, but he really like loves this group, and he does need them.
Mm-hmm. Something representing that on the outside you're a disgusting slime, but on the inside maybe you're starting to develop like a heart of gold, buried
protective
humanity.
feelings for them, and yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we can think about and brainstorm that. So something representing Eugene's newly developing sense of like loyalty. The other thing you could do too would be to write an aspect, and this could be tricky if you want to do it as one thing, but write an aspect about how like no one respects you, right? Like you could go with the kind of Rodney Dangerfield approach and be like, Quinn's words really did strike deep, right? Like that even though you were doing it for fun, right? That you were like, yeah, cool, we'll save the planet, whatever. Like he said some hurtful shit that's true about Eugene. So something about how maybe that's a thing, because you're like, maybe you're trying to change, but maybe you're going to double down. Maybe you're like, if I am what you think I am, right? Like
right, yeah.
Oh my god, heart of goo, nice. The trickster with a heart of goo. Yeah. Good as goo. Really, any gold pun is fine. Okay, cool. So you can think about that one a little bit.
Okay.
I can see, Quinn, in the future, you changing your like everyone hates a lizard man one if you go out into the world, and like this would be like if we do save the galaxy, that people stop hating lizard men as an option. But you also have the ability, if you want to rewrite any of your lesser like non-core concept aspects. So if there's any of them that you want to change. Like meticulous collector of jars, you could change to something else. Even if you just change the wording, it could be, instead of meticulous, it could be like old habits die hard, and you still like collect jars because you like it, not because you have to store your feelings in them. Yeah. Lots of options there. Cool. And then everybody make sure you add 1 to one of your stats. So what do you guys know what you want to add?
Yeah, I'm going to add +1 to flashy.
Nice. Okay. All right. So your flashy will go up. Eugene, what do you think?
I don't know if it's better for me to get rid of these 1 approaches as quick as possible, or to just be more careful about how I describe the things I do and have a really good careful roll.
Mm-hmm. Well, so that's the trick, right? Is that you're either going to want to go all in, because like as you saw, and I think this is great, and like you saw the Empress, like I'm rolling +6s and +8s on stuff, so eventually you want to be able to take on a character like that. Someone will have to have a comparable like stat, so you can think about either spreading yourself out or making yourself better at the stuff you're already good at.
Okay, I'll add to my careful. I'll have a careful 4.
All right, so you'll be more careful next time. Okay. Cool. Aurora, what do you think? If you're going to be going
I'm going to add 1 to my clever, because I feel like that's the main thing I try to use on her. So especially with when she uses Sparky. Do we also get the ability to switch any 2 approaches?
Yeah. And you can do it in any order. So yeah, you can take 2 and flip them. So
I want to flip out her sneaky with flashy, because I feel like if she's going to keep doing this whole like DJ thing, then she's going to be flashy every now and then. And less sneaky about it. So
yeah, I like that. Okay, cool. And then Quinn, what are you gonna raise with yours? And are you doing
full to 4? I want to bump it up to 4.
Okay. Then are you gonna flip any of your other ones?
Nope. I think I'm good with everything else.
Okay. Cool. And then lastly, I guess if you're not doing any switching, if anybody wants to exchange 1 stunt for another that didn't rename an aspect, or choose a new stunt if you haven't already filled in your stunts, then you're good to go.
Okay.
Cool.
I think
Good
I'm
work,
gonna add a
everybody.
stunt and keep 2 fate points.
Okay. So you're gonna use that extra point of refresh. Yeah, and actually to remind me, I'm gonna bump everybody. We'll fill your pools now, so I don't forget. Cool. So that means everybody will start, aside from Rex, everybody will start with the same number of fate points as I do on a scene that everybody is in, which gives me more room.
Shit.
Yeah, it gives me more room to like make things more difficult because you'll have more points to be able to counter it. Cool. All right. Do you know what you want your stunt to be?
No, I'll think about it.
Okay. Are you thinking of a mechanical stunt or a narrative stunt? One of the
I think I might do a narrative stunt, like a once per session thing, just to add more fun.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, try to find a stunt that, if you want to, like, fits into your idea of the character as presented by your existing aspects and stunts, but avoid replicating anything that any existing stunt or aspect already says. Right? Like, let's learn a new thing about what Rex can do. It can be related, but yeah. Because that's what the aspects and stunts are for, right? They're saying, like, this is a way that I get to break the rules because my character is so, like, cool in this way. Yeah. Nice. All right. Well, I guess that'll do her. We're a few minutes ahead of schedule, but I feel like that's good for this episode. Let's do some shout outs and then we'll go and record that Patreon video. Why don't we start with our beloved slime, Dodger?
Hi guys, I'm Dodger. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Twitch. I think they're both next to me. Yeah, thanks so much for watching. It's a super, super fun show to do with a super, super fun group, and I hope that I hope you've been enjoying it. I hope you tune in for the next definitely weird arc that we're gonna do because we don't know how to do an arc that isn't weird. So,
Yep, it's very true. Cool, thanks, Sam.
Hi guys, I'm Sam.
Mm-hmm.
You can find me at twitch.tv/Strippin. I'm going to be playing some Final Fantasy right after this with the JP. And stream most days, 1 PST. Play pretty much everything. Thanks for hanging out. I really love this show. If you love this show, consider checking out the Patreon because it allows us to do more shows like this all the time.
yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Sam. I'm gonna jump in the order. I'm saving you till last, Jesse. So, Pokket, why don't we do some shout outs for me?
Hello, I'm Pokket. All my information right over there. Twitch.tv/Pokket and Twitter @Pokket are the main things I use, and I stream every day about Mondays. So you can catch me on there gaming, probably PlayerUnknown or Prey or something like that. Probably, most likely.
Excellent. Cool. Thank you. I was saving you for last, Jesse, because I wanted to explicitly thank you for contributing as much as you have to the last couple of episodes. This wouldn't have been The Legend of the Blixnort Liebelacta, literally because you made up that stupid word without you. So
I regret it every minute.
Every time I have to say it.
Oh,
yeah.
Every time you say it, I regret the fact that is maybe the worst name I've ever come up with. And it pains me to hear you say it over and over and over again and make it a key to this entire arc. It is aggravating. It hurts me deep in my core. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Thank you. Why don't you shout it out for us, Jesse?
Hey everyone. Here's what I'm gonna say. All my information's at the side. You don't need to know that. What you do need to know is apparently in Fontana, California on June 10th, they are making the longest pizza in the world record. And if you go to longestpizza.com, you can find out more information. I don't know why I want to tell you that. I just think it's stupid. And there you go. If you're in California, go eat the longest pizza. I'm just offering that as an opportunity to you.
Do we measure pizza in lengths now? That doesn't make it
apparently we do. Longestpizza.com is a real thing. I can't believe it. So Fantastic. There you go. Yeah.
Big ups to longestpizza.com. Cool. Well, I've just now I'm clicking the button. There we go. I've just now posted the Q&A for this week's episode over at community.itmejp.com. So if you want to come and ask questions or give us some feedback on the episode, that would be awesome. I will post it in the chat. There it is. So yeah, we'll be back next time with more Nebula Jazz. We'll be starting a second arc, and we'll get back to the mysterious scepter and the crime that you've all been accused of. If you want to see more of what I'm up to, you can find me at twitch.tv/Adam Koebel. I'm playing through Persona real slowly, and I feel like I may have caught the Heroes of the Storm bug again, so I'm playing late night that game. Because that's happening. You can find me on Twitter at Skinny Ghost, or right here on Tuesdays, GMing for Dan's Gaming, Gassy Mexican, and JP, and soon to be Ammunition in our D&D game, Court of Swords. So come on back and check that out if you haven't already. Now is a great time to get started. We're going to go record the Patreon video, so we will see you next time. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Bye.